And today, I want to talk to you about why I'm rebuilding my business at 49 years old instead of scaling what works. See, I've been running Epic Conversions for 10 years, okay? And now I have chosen to go what I like to call infrastructure zero. It's what I've been calling it. And I've taken it down to zero products, period. No products on the market at all. I have nothing to sell right now, totally. No products at all. Why I have chose to do that instead of just, doing what works. Why don't I just scale what I've been doing for the last 10 years? It's a little bit nuanced, but I want to get into it with you today. By the way, if you don't know anything about me, you can sign up for my email list. I'm at epicconversions.com, epicconversions.com. Or if you're watching this on my Substack, you can just subscribe to me on Substack. And you can learn more about what I'm doing. I'm going to try to do some of these live streams a little bit more frequently and have talks with you guys about, what the way I see the market right now in digital publishing, how I see the online business space. And I want to talk to you guys about it through the lens of my 15 years of experience in this space. Um, so why have I chose to go infrastructure zero? Why have I chose to take everything down to nothing, strip it all down to the basic bare bones and build it all up from nothing? I'm 49 years old. I mean, seems like I'm kind of old to be doing that, Why wouldn't I just you know, build what I'm already doing? I'm gonna give you like three big, reasons on this today. It's nuanced. It's a nuanced thing. But I'll give you three of the big ones for me, and I tell you guys these things just so it can help you, all right? This is just, me telling you, my thoughts on the market right now, how I see it. Um, and you have to decide what's best to do for you, what's best for your business. I can only tell you how it looks to me. It's through the lens of experience. But at the same time, I don't have a crystal ball. So understand, when I go infrastructure zero, like I've done, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. There's always some risk in business. Business is always, it always has risk. But I've been told that I am Mr. Backup Plan. I've been told that a few times. So yes, I'm taking a risk going infrastructure zero, but you have to understand something. I have an email list, and I have an audience. So people, I'm known. Yeah, I'm not some kind of like celebrity or anything like that, but I have a customer database basically. So because I have that, my risk is minimized automatically. As long as I'm serving my customers well. Just because I go infrastructure zero for a little while, I can rebuild. I can rebuild it however I want. Doesn't mean there's not risk involved. There is. There's always risk involved. And as I get into this talk with you today, you'll see what I mean by that risk. But I just want you to know, like when I say yes, I'm taking a risk. Yes, I don't know the future. I want you to understand that, like I'm always thinking like strategically, and I think that you should too. Um, it's not like I went infrastructure zero and, like, deleted my entire email list. I didn't do that. That doesn't make sense to me. That wouldn't make any sense. I just took all my products off the market, and I'm gonna kinda reset what Epic Conversions sells. It's gonna be in the same grain, but I'll talk to you more about it today. But the point is, it's a calculated decision. This is more of a controlled burn. This isn't like arson, okay? And I wanted to make sure that I explain that to you because, um, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, "Oh, yeah, maybe that's what Cam's doing. Oh, maybe I can do something like that." Okay, that's fine. Maybe you can do something like this. But just understand, what is actually happening here. What I'm doing is I'm starting the product line over. I'm not like destroying my whole business. I'm just starting the product line over. So it's a little different. And when I say I'm starting the product line over, I mean I am actually kind of changing, the way I'm going to be doing these products. So, anyways, why am I doing it? Why am I rebuilding Got the last honest broker on. Hey, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. I enjoy your content, by the way. I consume I check out your content on Substack. It's really good. You guys have to check out the last honest broker. He might just be the last honest broker. He might just be the last honest one. I don't know. He's really funny though. He's got some good content on Substack, so check him out. Um, so why am I rebuilding at 49 instead of scaling what works? Um, well, 3 big things for me. AI comes on the scene. This is like, I think 2022, end of 2022. It was like November 2022 when ChatGPT really came out. And then I knew like I was doing PLR, content for people, licensed content. And I knew like, okay, this AI thing is a little bit of a problem for licensed content because why would, people buy content for me to save themselves time and also to like kind of take shortcuts. They get the content, they don't maybe know the answers, so they buy it from me. Now they're taking like educational shortcuts. They don't have to, they can just like insert this piece of content into their business and they don't have to like do it themselves. They're outsourcing the content basically. Well, when you got AI to write the content for you, now that's a pretty big competitor because AI is free. And even though it might not be as good as what you do, it's still free and it can still be coached. Like they can coach the AI up. And also, it doesn't have licenses on it, right? Like my PLR has licenses on it, right? So there's restrictions up to what you can do. There's no restrictions on AI. So it's a pretty big competitor, okay? So back in 2023, when this came on the scene, I was like, this is going to be a problem. And so flash forward to now, 2026, and the way I see it, it's not just PLR. PLR is really getting decimated, in my opinion, by AI right now. But if we look at low ticket info publishing, which was my bread and butter, I do a lot of low ticket info publishing, um, that market right now, like to me, so like let's say in 2019, I published a special report on anything traffic driving. It's going to be the secrets of traffic driving in 30 pages, right? And I'm going to teach you all these ways to drive traffic in 30 pages. It's like a $10 special report. You're going to buy it. You're going to find a bunch of cool ways to do things that you didn't know about, and you're going to be happy. And I'm going to be happy. Now you're on my list. Hey, what is up, Fred? Fred Rayleigh in the house. Good to see you, man. So you're gonna be happy, you're gonna buy this $10 report, it's gonna be cool. So that was the way that people engaged with low ticket content before. It was kind of like it was a curiosity purchase, it was a captivation purchase. They're gonna buy it, they're gonna like consume it, maybe they're gonna get some gold nuggets, they're gonna get some insights, and they're gonna move on. Maybe they take advantage of it, maybe they take action on it, or maybe they don't. But they're gonna, they're gonna buy it because they want to see what's in the box, and then they're gonna, and that's how it was. Well, what I notice is that people are engaging a little bit differently with content now. They're engaging with content a little bit differently, especially low ticket content. They pay $5 for something, they pay $10 for something, $20 for something. Maybe they don't read it. Maybe what they do instead is they take the whole report and they copy it and they paste it into like ChatGPT, or they paste it into Claude, or they paste it into Gemini, and they say, hey, can you summarize this report for me? Like the mentality is, I don't have time to like consume this 30, 40 page report. And I don't even know if I want to consume this 30 or 40 page report. So I'm just going to take it over to this LLM and I'm going to ask it to consume it. And I'm going to ask it to summarize, give me what is it, man? What is this? And we're going to have a conversation, right? So the way that a lot of people are engaging with this content is changing. It's changing. So the way that people engage with content is changing, especially low ticket content that they were just buying to see what was in the box. They don't even know if they're really going to commit to any kind of method that's being talked about in there. It's curiosity based purchases. It's almost like the kind of purchase you make when you go to the grocery store and you're in line with your grocery list and stuff. You got your groceries, but then you're in line and you see like one of these like magazines, like you see the National Enquirer, and there's something interesting about it. So you buy it. It's like a spontaneous buy, and it's kind of like that. So So people are interacting with the content differently now. Instead of just like, I'm going to read this, I'm going to commit to reading this 30-page special report on this subject and learning the secrets. Instead of that, they're going to input it into like an AI and have it like kind of have a conversation with them about what's going on. So they're engaging with the content differently. And then I think it's a very small jump between that and then just saying, you know what? Why do I need to buy these special reports, man? I don't care about these special reports. I'm just gonna. Here's my problem. I want to solve this problem. I'm just gonna go over to like ChatGPT and have a conversation about solving this problem. And I think that's a very small leap. That's a very small leap between that and that. And what that does is that cuts out the low ticket info product, right? Now, do I know that's gonna happen? No, I don't know that's gonna happen, but, like, in my mind, that seems logical. Like, that seems logical. So in my mind, like, the future of Epic Conversions is not in low ticket info products. It doesn't make sense. It seems to me like it's, like, year after year of, like, dwindling sales because more people are, like, at first, like, engaging with the content differently, and then eventually just, like, cutting that content out, period, because they don't really need it. They just wanna have a conversation with this AI to see if they can solve their problem in a different way than, like, just, like, a special report that someone put out. That's how I see it, right? Now, am I playing a little bit of Nostradamus with you now? Yeah, a little bit because I have no idea how it's gonna go. Like, and the entire society could like rail against AI and like everyone goes back to special reports and like, stuff like that. Who knows? I don't really know. I'm just like connecting the dots like the way I see it, as far as like what the logical thing that would happen would be. To me, that's how I see it. So that's one thing. Like the AI middleman, I call that the AI middleman, right? And like that's one reason why I felt like, hey, I really need to make some big changes with Epic Conversions as far as like how I do things around here. The AI middleman, it's not a problem that's going away anytime soon, I don't think. Um, the second thing, so like the way I look at pricing, right? The way I see it, man, and look, everyone's got their own way of looking at things, but the way I see pricing is it's like a spectrum. Like you got a pricing spectrum, and you got your products that are like $20 or less, and like that's like low ticket products. And then you got like 21 to 50, and that's low mid, and then you got your 50 to 500, and that's like mid. That's the mid ticket. So you got the low range of mid ticket, which is anything over like $50, and then you got like all the way up to $500, and that's like this mid ticket. There's this stray cat like running by my van right now. It's funny. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Sorry. So you got this mid-ticket area of, $50 to $500. It's a big range for me. Um, Keep in mind, everyone's got their own different pricing spectrum. This is just mine. This is my personal view on pricing. And then you got like 501 to 1,000, right? And 501 to 1,000, that's like mid-high, right? That's this range of like mid-high, um, not quite mid-ticket, not quite high ticket, like 501 to 1,000 is mid-high, right? And then you got over $1,000, and this is high ticket. That's for me. Now I know people who wouldn't consider things high ticket unless they were like over like $5,000 or something. I know people like that. That's just not me. That's not how I see it. That's not how I've always seen it. I look at anything over $1,000 as high ticket. So that's the pricing spectrum as I see it, right? And in my view of business, it is good to have products at every part of the pricing spectrum, to have every part of that pricing spectrum covered. And the reason why is because you maximize your potential for profit. Okay. Because you got to consider the fact you have an email list, and this email list is the core of your business, right? This is the core of your customer base, your email list. On that email list and the people who follow you in your audience, you have a percentage of people who can afford low ticket stuff, a smaller percentage who can afford low mid, a smaller percentage who can afford mid, an even smaller percentage who can afford mid high, and an even smaller percentage of people who can afford to spend $1,000 or more with you at any given time, right? And it's always like that, right? There's always a bigger percentage of people who can afford to spend 20 bucks or less with you, and then it goes down and how many people can afford to spend higher amounts. That's just the way it is. That's the law of the jungle, man. And that's just math. So that's how I look at it. The way I look at it, well, all these people are represented on my list. All these people on my list are represented. I have people on my list who are freebie seekers. They're not there yet. In the customer journey, they're not at the place where they want to buy anything yet, right? I have those people on my list, and I've never like tried to shun those people or kick them out of my list. They're just not ready yet. I look at that. That's like a customer journey, and everyone starts as a freebie seeker. Everyone starts as someone who just wants some free information, right? And I recognize that as being a truth, and it's not really a problem. So all these people are represented. The entire pricing spectrum is represented on my list. Um, so like when it comes to like me being 49, rebel marketer in the house, what is up, man? So when it comes to me being 49 and I'm, knocking on the door at 50 and I see like all this stuff happening with AI and stuff. And, I start to realize, man, I have a lot of products out there on the market. I have a lot of hands and a lot of fires. I have a lot going on. And I start to kind of think to myself that, I kind of need to streamline this situation a little bit, and so to me, I think, well, you know, honestly, I think I would just like to try to serve the people who are serious. It's not necessarily about how much money they make. It's just about how serious they are about what they're trying to do, right? Because for a long time, man, I served the hobbyists, I served the collectors, I served anybody who has an interest in my products, and I tried to serve all positions in the pricing spectrum. But like the older I get, the more I realize that like, man, I'm getting too old for this crap. I don't want to. I want to serve like less people and just serve business people, people who are really trying to, you know, make more money with their businesses. So that's kind of like I want to streamline who I serve in the pricing spectrum, basically. That's kind of the way I look at that. Um, so that is the whole pricing spectrum angle, and that's viable. That's a viable thing that I think about. And then a third thing that I think about is positioning, and this kind of comes back to what I was talking in the beginning about, AI. And it kind of leads into that pricing spectrum conversation too a little bit. It's not just that like I'm going to abandon like those low ticket buyers on the pricing spectrum. All those $20 buyers that bought all that stuff from me over the past 10 or 15 years, like a lot of those people like I mean, they're streamlining too. It's not just me. Like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of like not focused as much on those hobbyists and those low ticket buyers as much, but they're streamlining too. I mean, a lot of those people, like over half of those people are like running to AI to solve their problems now. They're not, um, right on, man, right on, man. Go get it. Go get after it. Rebel saying they got to go jump on a meeting. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, look, a lot of those low ticket buyers, it's like what I said. It fits into what I said, okay, about AI is kind of changing the way people interact with content, especially at that low ticket level. Okay. So to swing this back to the third thing for me about positioning, right? So like you see, the thing is, if the buyers, if there's like a section of buyers that are interacting with AI for their answers and they're having conversations with AI to get their answers, where does someone like me fit into that? With my 15 years of experience and my knowledge and my know-how, where does that experience and that knowledge and that know-how fit in? Right? Well, to me, it doesn't fit in with the hobbyists, right? Because the hobbyists, they're not in a position to really like spend money on my experience. They're in a position to run to AI and ask AI all the answers, right? Whether AI gives them good answers or not, I think a lot of the answers AI gives are pretty questionable. And this is coming from someone who has been working with AI now for the last 3 years to better understand my competition. I don't know that AI necessarily gives great answers. Sometimes it stumbles on some decent ideas, but, like, it's hit or miss, and I definitely wouldn't trust it with trying to start a new business, but that doesn't matter what I think, okay? People are gonna use it because it's free and, they're gonna use it no matter what, especially people who are, like, in that freebie phase where, like, they're not ready to spend any money on anything. They're gonna have conversations with AI. People who are in that low ticket buyer phase, they're a lot half the time they would rather run to AI to have a conversation about like something than just buy something. So people in those lower phases of the pricing spectrum, AI is going to start dominating that, in my opinion. Um, that end of the pricing spectrum is going to start closing off to info product publishers, I think. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope it's not true. I hope I'm wrong. But I think so. So I think like, well, okay, so who does value my experience over AI? Who does value my actual real world experience over just like an AI making stuff up? Well, it's obvious. It's other real business people. People like me who actually run businesses, they know the value of experience. They understand it, they've profited from it. So to me, like I'm a better fit serving those people who actually, run businesses and make money, you know? Doesn't have to be like crazy amounts of money. Someone was asking me the other day, like in email, like, Cam, what do you mean make a little money? What does that even mean? How much money is a little money? And I was like, well, look, I'm gonna put a product out on the market, pretty soon. It's gonna be the first Epic Conversions product, and probably I'm not gonna be putting tons of products out. This is gonna be, a membership club, and it's gonna be a monthly membership club. It's gonna be $100 a month, and it's basically gonna be, a monthly PDF newsletter, probably 80 to 100 pages, just detailing a problem and how to solve it. And, it's also gonna have a weekly, audio, kind of a premium audio, kind of a premium podcast kinda thing that goes along with it, like a premium podcast. And that's gonna be a weekly, and then it's gonna have like a monthly mentorship call. So it's gonna be like a group coaching call every month. We're gonna do that. So it's really cool. It's a cool club. It's gonna be like 3 memberships for the price of 1. But it's gonna be for people who can afford to spend $100 a month. And they can afford to spend $100 a month because they know they can make thousands a month off of the information I'm giving them and the insights that I'm giving them in there. Now, it's not gonna be for the people who, like, when they look at, like, $100 a month, it's like a dagger to their heart every single month. It's like a dagger to their heart. They can't afford it. And every single month, it's like they are, like, debating whether or not this should be the month they cancel it, right? And, it's probably not for you. If you are, like, debating whether or not you need to cancel this every month and it's really hurting your heart to have to spend this $100 on this thing, it's probably not for you, man. It's probably not a good fit. So that price level is kind of like a vetting process. That price level it's geared at people who can afford to spend it, right? And because it's geared towards those people, that's gonna kinda like self segregate, the people who join the club. So yeah, I guess those are the 3 big reasons why I'm rebuilding at 49 instead of scaling what works. Short answer is, I don't think what works right now and what's been working for me is gonna continue to work. I think that, like, slowly, things start to dwindle down, and a lot of it is because of the way people engage with content now. That's what I think. Now look, I could be totally wrong, you know? We could be having a conversation next year at this time, and I'm like, "Well, I was wrong about that. People love info products more than ever, and, I probably lost a bunch of money last year from not selling $20 products." That could totally happen, man. Um, that could totally happen, I'm not Nostradamus, okay? I I just look at the market that's in front of me and, like, I kinda, like, try to connect the dots the best I can, you know? It's like that, like that great horse manure crisis from, like, 100 years ago or something. And, do you guys familiar with that? The great horse manure, crisis? It was like, there was this period of time where, like, they were really worried about, like, horse manure in all the major cities in the world because, it was a big problem. Everybody got around on horses and horse carriages and stuff, but there was all this horse manure everywhere. And they're like, "This is crazy. We don't know what we're gonna do. At this rate, the cities are gonna be covered in horse manure in 20 years, all right? We cannot handle all the horse manure in our cities." It was like this big crisis, but at the time, like, they could not, like, fathom the invention of the automobile. They couldn't fathom it. Well, I feel like that a lot of times over these last couple years when it comes to AI. Like, I don't I can't fathom everything that's gonna happen. I'm not Nostradamus. I can only, like, run my business, based on the information that I have and what I'm looking at, and try to interpret it the best I can and try to figure out how I fit into the puzzle. That's the only thing I can do, is try to figure out how I fit into the puzzle. And I think that for me, like, Epic Conversions is probably better, like, it's better used as a way to help people that are actually, making money, and not focus so much on the hobbyists, and the beginners as much, because a lot of those beginners, I'm gonna lose that business to AI. That's how I feel about it. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful, and again, I put these videos on, I put these live streams on to help you guys, and, like, to think about how you wanna run your businesses, how you wanna approach, business and marketing. Um, I don't claim to know everything by any means. I don't. I've made plenty of mistakes throughout the last 15 years. But I just move in the directions that I think it makes sense. And in my situation right now, 15 years of experience, competing with artificial intelligence, this just kind of makes sense to me to focus on the people who understand and value experience, and value, like, what I can do and help them with. Um, but let's say you're somebody new, you're just getting started, I'm not telling you not to use AI, okay? I mean, I think when you're just getting started, you use every tool at your disposal, you try to figure out everything you can out, and you do it at the cheapest way possible, I understand that, I respect it. But I would tell you that, like, I don't think using AI for your content is the way, personally. Um, and the reason why is just because, AI, people using AI for content is flooding the market with content. I mean, it's making content marketing way less effective than it was even 5 or 6 years ago. Um, so, like, if you want your content marketing to be effective, you gotta find ways to stand out, and I don't really think AI is good at standing out. So it really requires, your true voice, the genuine article has to emerge, you know what I'm saying? Like, you all have a true voice within you. You all have a version of the genuine article, and that must emerge, I think, to really be effective with content marketing in 2026, because there's a lot of content out there, and, like, you could be the coolest person in the world, but, like, if no one finds you because you're buried in seas and seas of, like, AI content, then, you know, what does it matter how cool your content is? So everything I'm saying about being the genuine article and finding the one true voice, it does matter, but you're still facing a massive problem, and that is being buried in, like, layers and layers and layers of AI content. How do you get around that? Well, I can tell you how I would do it if I was just getting started. I would start becoming good at networking. You have to, like, reach out to people. It's not like working online, it feels like such a solo sport. You know what I mean? It does. It feels like such a solo sport. But the fact is, man, you know, every single business that I've ever been involved in was a people business. They're all people businesses. It even, like, go back before AI, it was still a people business. I mean, it was, why did people buy off me 9 times out of 10? Because they resonated with me in some way, shape, or form. They connected with me, right? And that's a people thing. When I was getting, like, hundreds and hundreds of affiliates to promote my products, why were they promoting my products? Well, it started out as a people thing. It started out as me having conversations with affiliates and, we connected and me cutting them deals and it worked on a person by person level. It worked. Why does someone buy your product? What makes them pull out their credit card and buy your stuff, right? It's a connection, right? So it's a people business. So people talk about AI and scaling and, oh yeah, man, AI can do all this for you and it's going to be able to write everything for you, this, that, and the other thing. You're not going to have to do anything, blah, blah, blah. You can kick back. You got this AI agent connecting all these other 5 AIs and like you can kick back and not worry about anything. Man, I don't know about all that. Okay. Because all the money I've made online has always connected back to, making connections with real people. So I don't know about all that, like automation, everything for stuff. And if you look at it, you look at big companies like Nike, or you look at big companies like Walmart, or you look at some of these big companies like Amazon, what are they doing? Yeah, sure, they're using automation, but what are they doing, man? They are trying to connect with people on a personal level. Look at their advertising. Look at how they position themselves. They're trying to be, man, I saw a commercial for Amazon, just a couple weeks ago, back in December, and it was like these 3 old ladies, right? And they were sitting on this park bench and they were watching these kids sled ride down the hill, right? And they were just these old ladies sitting there. And then one of them, what does she do? She orders like these cushions or something. So I might be getting this wrong. She orders some cushions, right? From Amazon. And like, so now they got these cushions and they can put them on the sled. And now these old ladies are like zooming down this snowy hill on these sleds with these cushions, right? That was the commercial. But the whole thing was, look at us, man. We're Amazon. You can order something from us and we're going to get it to you so fast. You can sled ride down a snowy hill because you got your little cushion for the sled. That's Amazon trying to connect with us on a personal level, right? So the biggest companies in the world are trying to create some kind of connection with people. It's harder for them because they are a massive company, so they have to fake it. They have to fake it. Like it's not like easy for them to be this massive company that has like tons and tons of cogs in the machine. They move slow, but they try to fake the personal connection as much as possible, and they try to move as fast as possible. So if they're trying to move like that, why would you, as a solo kitchenpreneur, kitchen table entrepreneur, right? That's what I am. I'm a one guy operation as a table entrepreneur. Why would you not lean into your strength of being personal? It's very easy as you are a personal, like one man show, to be personal with people, to talk to people, to reach out to your customers, to reach out to your, peers, people who you want to network with. It's very easy to do that. And as I look at it, where like it's always been a people business, it's always been about connecting with other people, whether it's customers or whether it's, JV partners or whether it's people you want to do business with. It's always been about connection with other people. So the most successful people online have been the ones that are willing to reach out to others. So if it's always been about that, then why would AI coming on the scene and making automation, democratizing content creation, why would that make it easier for people? The fact is, it wouldn't make it easier for people. For most people, it'd make it harder because now, so what if you can have AI write like, 10 articles for you or whatever, or AI can bust out an email series for you in like 10 minutes or whatever. Who cares? Who's going to read your email series? Nobody, because you're not connecting with anybody. You're not making the moves to connect with other people, right? And now it's harder than ever to connect with other people with your content because people can't find your content, right? So it's more important than ever moving forward to make those connections with people, to reach out to people, to talk to people, to do simple things like what I'm doing right here, having an honest conversation with you about the state of online digital publishing and where I see it moving forward. That's what this is, right? This is an honest conversation I'm having with you guys. This isn't about AI. I didn't get AI to like, I didn't make a clone of myself with AI. Oh, look at me. My clone's better than I am. Let me teach you how to do it. It's ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous. I see these gurus, man. I see these really famous gurus like leaning into this AI thing so hard, knowing damn well that at the end of the day, their success has come from them being able to make a lot of connections with a lot of people and people believing that they have the answers. People believing that they have the answers. And now, what are they doing? They're telling you that the answer is to clone yourself and it will do a better job of being you than you. Impossible. It's impossible. Like, mind blown, okay? Mind blown. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm just rambling on now, man. But again, I'm Cam from epicconversions.com. You can join my list if you want to hear more from me. I email my list pretty regularly. Um, Venus, welcome to the party. Yeah, I join my I email my list pretty regularly, several times a week. Um, I also publish here on Substack here. So if you're finding this on Substack, you can subscribe to my Substack to keep in the loop on what I got going on. But what I got going on right now is not selling anything. I'm an infrastructure zero, and the only thing I got going on is these simple live streams that I've been doing, where basically I'm just talking about what's going on in the marketplace and what I see and where I see digital publishing going in the future, man. Digital publishing bought my house. Digital publishing bought this van I'm sitting in. So I love digital publishing. I love membership clubs. It's something I've really loved for a long time. And, I just want to talk about this thing that I love and where I see it going in the future. I think that it's just a time of revolution. I think we're in this kind of weird time where people are starting to engage with content a lot differently. And, you have to be careful how you move in a situation like this. I think, one thing that hasn't changed, I talked about this on the live stream the other day, is it hasn't really changed like what makes people want to buy something, right? And what makes people want to buy something is connection, right? And I think it's hard to fake connection. I don't think you can do it with AI, not well. And if you're a kitchen table entrepreneur, there's no reason why you have to use AI to do it in to begin with. If you're like someone like Amazon or someone like Walmart, it's almost impossible for you to make connection with people. You have to use AI all the time. But, just kitchen table entrepreneurs, there's no reason. You can make connection with people. You don't have to use AI to like scale your content up to a massive amount, and there's no reason to. Why do I need to use AI to create like 1,000 notes to publish on Substack, man? What is the point of publishing 5 or 10 notes a day on Substack if no one's reading them? It doesn't mean anything. Man, you'd be far better off like just like publishing 1 note a day on Substack and just making one meaningful connection with someone every single day. You'd be far better off. Your business would probably make far more money. That's what I think. And I don't just say it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, okay? Because I literally have went to infrastructure zero. So everything I'm telling you right now, I believe. All right? Bottom line, point blank. We'll see. We'll see in a year from now if I know what the hell I'm talking about, or I was full of crap and I lost a bunch of money in 2026. It could happen. Either way, I don't know. But I've laid it out for you. I've told you how I feel about it. And that's kind of how I'm moving going forward. So anyways, look, hope you're doing amazing out there. I don't care where you're at, I wish you the absolute best of luck in all your ventures. Do not hesitate to respond to me, ask me questions in the comment section. Share this with someone you think it might help. If you think it would help someone, of course, you help me when you share my content with people, of course, but you don't have to do that. And I think that's it, man. I just rambled on long enough. Like I'm a professional content creator, you know what I mean? Like I could ramble on for like an hour about a bottle of water. you know? I don't know if that's because I've been creating content a really long time. Hey, it's good to see you too, Fred. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know if it's because I've been creating content for a long time that I can do that, or if it's just because, like, I have the gift of gab or whatever. I've been told I have the gift of gab. So, anyways, look, I'm gonna get off here. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I'll catch up with you for another one. Maybe we'll do this again tomorrow. All right? Peace.